into the news presenters chair this evening. She's going to be presenting tonight. Time compliments of the wonderful folks at Caribbean Alliance. 1 minute or just a few seconds to the hour of 6. Have you called Caribbean Alliances yet? Yeah, you're just watching, checking. Oh gosh, boy. Yellow boy really telling us to call them, boy. And you still don't call them yet? Boy, you see you? You see you? Huh. Don't make the mistake and not call Caribbean Alliance. That's all I'm telling you. Time check at 6 o'clock. It's time to bring you the evening news right here on your nation station, DBS Radio.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, outgoing chair of the Council for Foreign and Community Relations, Dr. Vince Henderson, says the only way the Caribbean community can survive is to remain independent in decisions of national policy. In news from the region, regional police commissioners meeting in Guyana. And internationally, UK Prime Minister promises a migration drop as he unveils plans for tightened visa rules. Good evening, I am Leila Langford. Details of the news when we return.
Too often, customers are counted but not valued, like mere numbers, statistics, transactions. But at Flow, we're prioritizing you, our valued customers who have been with us through every milestone, every moment. That's why we're putting our money where your loyalty is. Flow customers claim up to $400 in rewards for smartphones, groceries, and more when you add mobile to your current internet plan. Because loyalty isn't a one-way street. At Flow, loyalty flows both ways.
DBS News.
Welcome back. Making the headline this evening, outgoing chair of the Council for Foreign and Community Relations, Dr. Vince Henderson, says the only way the Caribbean community can survive is to remain independent in decisions of national policy. Henderson made the remarks while addressing a ceremony for the 28th meeting of the Council for Foreign and Community Relations in St. Kitts and Nevis. The two-day high-level forum brought together regional foreign ministers.
But we need to ensure that we determine for ourselves what are the things that define us as a community, so that when we interface with third countries, we are not scouring for ideas and seeking to appeal to people because of their own agendas. And what I want to say on this is the changes we've noticed in the world. We've seen Europe shifted slightly. Europe would not put anything before us without seeking to advance certain rights, certain agendas rather. But we've seen a shift in Europe from a very, very liberal agenda to one that is moving more to the right. We've seen the United States of America as well shifted almost totally. And I'm saying this to say that unless we determine for ourselves who we are and what we stand for, periodically we will find ourselves shifting, seeking to meet the demands of some capital in the world or some agenda in the world, whether it's on the LGBTQ rights, whether it's on human rights in terms of what we consider to continue to have on our statute books, the death penalty, for example. There are a number of issues that are being driven by agendas based on who is in government in a major capital of the world. And we seem to be very happy to dance to their drums and to seek to please them. The only way we can survive as a Caribbean civilization, as a community, is for us to define for ourselves the things that are important to us, that are worth fighting for, that we'll always stick to no matter who sits in which capital, and to continue pushing forward for the benefit of our people, our Caribbean people.
Outgoing chair of the Council for Foreign and Community Relations, Dr. Vince Henderson. President of the Dominican Nurses Association, Nurse Joanna Laura Blaise, says nurses are the backbone of a country's healthcare system. Her remarks came as Dominica today joined in the observance of International Nurses Day under the theme Caring for Nurses Strengthens Economies. Nurse Laura Blaise says it is the responsibility of every Dominican to create a healthier and secure workforce for nurses.
The Dominican Nurses Association call on the government and the private sectors, Dominicans here and abroad, to assist the nurses in their endeavors. Let's act on this year's nurses theme. Caring for nurses strengthens economies. Yes, nurses are the backbone of healthcare. They work tirelessly, often in challenging conditions, to safeguard lives and promote health. Yet, far too often, their own well-being is overlooked. Today, we must recognize that caring for nurses is not just a moral responsibility, it's an economic necessity. A healthy and secure nursing workforce is critical to the functioning of healthcare systems. When nurses are supported, given fair wages, assisted with transportation, provided with adequate staffing, offered mental health resources to include meeting their main goals, these will no doubt contribute to the delivery of high quality care.
Nurse Laura Blaise is also calling for assistance to be provided to the Dominican Nurses Association to better assist its members.
Today, I urge policy makers, healthcare leaders, religious leaders, and society as a whole to take meaningful action. Let's advocate on behalf of our nurses, meeting nurses halfway with their goals of aspiring to initiate small business opportunity for Nurses Association to generate income to support our very own nurses. Because when we care for our nurses, we are not just supporting individuals, we are strengthening families, communities, and the entire economy.
President of the Dominican Nurses Association, Nurse Joanna Laura Blaise. Head of the University of the West Indies Global Campus, Dominica, Dr. Kimon Joseph, says Dominican students continue to excel in both undergraduate and graduate programs at UE. Joseph says, on average, most students are graduating with first-class honors by the end of their degree.
Most of our students are working people, are adults with families of their own and a job, and are quite busy people. So it's always an honor for us to see them do so well. Our statistics continue to be that in our undergraduate programs, at least half and sometimes more than half of Dominicans graduating in any 1 year get a first class. So we know that Dominicans are working very hard and that our students are very bright and that they're using what they are learning in their workplaces, and that is very important to us. When it comes to the graduate programs, the statistics are 70%. 70% of our graduate students, that's people doing masters and doctoral courses and programs, graduate with a first class. That is something that is quite commendable as well, because at the graduate level, you're doing serious research.
Head of the University of the West Indies Global Campus, Dominica, Dr. Kimon Joseph. Director General of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, Dr. Dedicus Jules, says investing in early childhood educators is crucial under the OECS Pearl project. As part of this initiative, 5 early childhood centers in Dominica have been rehabilitated.
These physical upgrades, furniture, learning materials, and age-appropriate instructional tools are only part of the story. Equally important is the investment in our educators. Teachers and caregivers associated with these spaces have received and will continue to receive specialized training to ensure that they are equipped to nurture early learning in ways that are responsive, effective, and inclusive. This is regional integration in action, guided by data, grounded in community, and committed to excellence.
Meantime, Joel says the OECS Pearl project is meeting its objective of developing a sustainable early childhood education sector for each member state.
Of the 20 targeted early childhood spaces across the OECS region, 17 have already been completed, and we are on track to exceed this goal. The initiative is not only about buildings, it is about systems, partnerships, and sustainable change. In St. Lucia, for example, the successful completion of their centers has led to the establishment of an additional site with funding from another agency using the same Pearl designs and data. In Grenada, the local government is co-financing construction and refurbishment. And in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, emphasis is being placed on structured and unstructured play, with new playgrounds planned to enhance holistic development.
Director General of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, Dr. Didicus Jules. In other news, Minister for Agriculture, Roland Royer, has called on Dominicans to become guardians of plant health to reduce the impact of plant disease on the economy and the environment. Today, May 12, has been designated as International Day of Plant Health, which is being observed under the theme, The Importance of Plant Health for Personal Health.
This year's theme reminds us of the One Health approach, a concept that highlights the interconnectedness of plants, animal, human, and environmental health. If we allow plant diseases to spread unchecked, we risk economic disruption, food insecurity, and environmental degradation. But by safeguarding plant health, we lay a strong foundation for public health, biodiversity conservation, and climate resilience. The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Blue and Green Economy remains at the forefront of these efforts, from promoting sustainable farming practices to strengthening plant protection services, and from investing in research to equipping our farmers with the tools and knowledge they need. We are building a healthier, more prosperous Dominica. But this responsibility cannot rest on the government's shoulders alone. Today, I issue a call to action. I urge every Dominican, our farmers, traders, students, and community leaders to become guardians of plant health. Let us embrace sustainable agricultural practices, report pest and disease outbreaks promptly, support our local food systems, and advocate for environmental stewardship.
Minister for Agriculture, Roland Royer. Meantime, Royer made mention of several government investments in Dominica's agriculture industry.
Here in Dominica, agriculture is more than an industry. It is the lifeblood of our communities and the backbone of our economy. We understand these challenges deeply. Protecting plant health is not merely about safeguarding crops. It is about securing our nation's food security, protecting our natural heritage, and ensuring a resilient and sustainable future for all. The government of Dominica recognizes the importance of plant health and has been taking decisive steps to support our farming community. In April 2024, we commissioned an $11.2 million tissue culture facility at 1 Mile Portsmouth. This state-of-the-art facility, generously funded by the People's Republic of China, has the capacity to produce 500,000 clean planting materials annually. Additionally, we are currently constructing a new citrus certification facility at Londonderry, with the capacity to produce 50,000 clean citrus plants. We are also finalizing the designs for a new plant and animal diagnostics facility, a critical investment for the continued development and modernization of Dominica's agricultural sector.
Minister for Agriculture Roland Royer. The St. Mary's Academy emerged victorious at the Dominica Association of Teachers' annual secondary school spelling bee competition. The competition, which was held today at the Public Service Union building, is sponsored by Macmillan Education Caribbean.
In the third position, the third place, we have the Orion Academy in third with 320 points. Congratulations to the representative of Orion Academy, Liam Nesty and Ren Sebastian. Good job, good job. Now we're up to our second place or second position. And in the second place, we have the Convent High School with 360 points. They are represented by Sienna Andrew and Mia Joseph. And in first place, we have the St. Mary's Academy in first place, represented by Jonathan Theophile and Kajani Deja with a total of 370 points.
Educator Giselle Mondesir Charles. The 2025 Spelling Bee finals for primary schools will take place tomorrow. That's the national focus. Regional and international developments up next.
Too often, customers are counted but not valued. Like mere numbers, statistics, transactions. But at Flow, we're prioritizing you, our valued customers who have been with us through every milestone, every moment. That's why we're putting our money where your loyalty is. Flow customers claim up to $400 in rewards for smartphones, groceries, and more when you add mobile to your current internet plan. Because loyalty isn't a one-way street. At Flow, loyalty flows both ways.
DBS News.
In news from the region, Caribbean police commissioners began a 5-day meeting amidst calls for greater attention and support for the mental health of police officers and a warning against the glorification of crime and criminality being used as tools to secure political power. Addressing the opening of the 49th annual general meeting of the Association of Caribbean Commissioners of Police, Guyana's President Irfan Ali called on governments and opposition parties in the region to treat crime seriously. He also offered to facilitate training opportunities in India and the Guyana Defence Force National Defence Institute for the police officers across the Caribbean. And internationally, UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has promised the government's new immigration measures will mean net migration falls significantly over the next 4 years. The Prime Minister unveiled plans to ban recruitment of care workers for overseas, tighten access to skilled worker visas, and raise the cost of employers in an effort to curb near-record net migration. He did not set a precise target, but the Home Office estimated the policies could lead to a 100,000% drop in immigration per year by 2029 based on analysis of just 8 of the core policies where a quantitative assessment could be made. That's news, the DBS Evening Sports Report. Up next with Gavin Richards.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Well, good evening. I'm Gavin Richards with the DBS Evening Sports Report, and let's begin with cricket news as the cricketing world is still coming to grips with Virat Kohli's decision to announce his retirement from Test cricket. The Indian megastar had hinted that he was stepping away on the weekend, and he made it formal this morning, ended a 14-year career in Test cricket, where Virat Kohli played 123 Test matches, scoring 9,230 runs at an average of 46. Kohli, in a post on social media, said he never imagined a journey in this format would have taken him, let's take that again. He said that he never imagined the journey this format would have taken him on, saying that it has tested him, shaped him, and taught him lessons. Well, he said that he's stepping away at the right time and it's not easy. Now, veteran cricket commentator Ozzie Lewis says that Virat Kohli's contributions to Test cricket will be missed.
Virat Kohli certainly will go down in history as one of India's finest. I mean, when you think of Sachin Tendulkar and one or two other big names, Kohli has to be right up there, especially in one-day cricket. I mean, I think he had over 50 centuries in ODI cricket and about 34 or so in Test cricket. So he was really a substantial batsman, captain for quite a few years, and he still packs a big punch. As I said, he has to go down in history, one of India's finest batsmen. And India has produced a plethora of great batsmen. And Kohli must be among the top 5 or 6 of all time, at least playing for India. And so he should feel quite assured that his name will go down, will be etched in history. So he has made his contribution, and he'll continue in the white ball game. So we'll still have Kohli around. So he has been a thorn in the flesh of many, an attack for so many years. And once again, I want to say, well, he has done very well, and history will record his greatness.
And that's the veteran cricket commentator Ozzie Lewis. In some basketball news this evening, Sergei Joseph was a beast down low and Rennie Williams controlled both ends of the floor as the Happy 767 Sports Club Dominators edged out the Paybush Eagles to lift the 2025 DABA Elias Dupuy knockout title on the weekend at the Massac Indoor Facility. Well, Sergei Joseph had 21 points, Rennie Williams 12 points, and a number of big defensive plays as the Dominators took the match 64-61. Kelsey Guy also added 10 points for the Dominators, while for the Super Eagles, Kaylin Paul had 17, Dave Alexis 12, and Lennon Paul 10. The Dominators head coach Dunstan Maggie Peters, he was not happy with the way that his guys closed out the game.
Yeah, we made a meal out of it. It wasn't, we were supposed to dominate the game like our name says, Dominators. Especially when Shama got hurt and but it's like we kind of relaxed, you know what I mean? But in the end, we pull it out, give thanks for that.
You had some big games from your big men, Rennie Williams, and of course Sergei Joseph. They were monsters down low. Just talk to me about the impact that they had on the game.
Yeah, definitely we know we had that advantage here. Sergei haven't played for a while, so I'm really impressed with Sergei, especially, Rennie out there in the US doing his thing. So I expected more from Rennie. But Sergei, I was very impressed with Sergei tonight there.
What sort of signal do you think this victory sends as you head into the regular season, which starts in a few weeks' time?
Yeah, well, basically, we have a team, our team, the Dominators, we come to dominate. So we're taking this one and we're coming for the league now. The league is next.
And that's the Dominators head coach Dunstan Maggie Peters. The Super Eagles top scorer Kaylin Paul says his team put up a good fight, especially as they were missing some key players.
Well, we did everything we could, but unfortunately we didn't make our free that we were planning on, but unfortunately didn't make it. But I still want to say at least we tried.
Talk to me about the effort of your guys, because you lost Shama Felicite in the first half. You had no Ethan Boland tonight, yet you guys were still able to stand toe-to-toe with the Dominators.
Yes, we Well, Shama was a big factor, but we have to push through. We have to push through because, I mean, the game starts continue. I want to thank we did 110%, and yeah.
Lost by 3 points, but when you reflect on the fourth quarter, a number of missed free throws. At one point in the fourth quarter, you missed 5 free throws in a row. Like that came back to haunt you guys.
Yeah, I was tired, but at the end of the day, well, we tried. I can say.
Paybush Eagles player Killian Paul. In some volleyball news this evening was the Sunrise. They completed another clean sweep, this time dispatching the Celtics in the men and women's division of the KFC National Volleyball League on the weekend. Sunrise women, they defeated the Celtics, beating them in 4 sets. The scores 25-15, 22-25, 25-21 and 25-22. The men also scored a 4-set win over the Celtics, and they won that game 22-25, 25-22, 25-12, and 25-14. Some dominoes now as Ely boys. They were among the winners as the McCurson Stout Big W National Domino League continued on the weekend. League PRO Lester Guy has a roundup of the weekend's action.
Twilight Brutal Force defeated Roslyn Eclipse 2,506 to 1,973. A much anticipated Yamaha Ely Boys versus Golden Arms, where Ely Boys got the better of Golden Arms 2,501 to 1,907. Bearers Knight won over Matrix 2,508 to 1,851. While Incas Paws 2 defeated Tong Oyo Stars 2,506 to 2,288. Element Agency Storm continue on their winning streak against No Name 2,518 to 1,867. Harmony New Block in quite a spicy encounter won over One Pot Hunters 2,512 to 2,418.
And that's the League PRO Lester Guy. In some other results, well, Skills, Cindy One Love, and Warriors, they were also among the winning teams.
Skills got the better of Siwo King Blasters, 2,530 to 2,334, while Cindy One Love from Tarish Pit won over Berridge New Westbridge, 2,506 to 1,982. Warriors defeated Roadside 2,513 to 2,358, while Brigade Stars won over Fish Hunters 2,515 to 1,564. Sherman Boston Public Enemies took advantage of non-players and won by 1,000+ points, 2,521 to 1,291. Rodney Rock Jimit lost to Underground 2,513 to 2011.
League PRO Lester Guy Baghdad, C+ Denver, well, they also picked up wins on the weekend. In football news, Dominic and Barbados played to another goalless draw yesterday in their final international friendly at Windsor Park, while the head coach Ellington Sabin, he made some 10 changes to the team that drew last Thursday. And while Dominica continued to look solid defensively, the team again didn't capitalize on their few chances up front. But Coach Sabin says despite the draw, the 2 games gave him a good look at the team ahead of next month's World Cup qualifiers.
Well, once again we kept a clean sheet, and once again we created a lot of chances and didn't convert any of them. But I mean, I luck to the boys. We tried some new players again today, so it augurs well going forward for the team that, you know, even if when we put the other players that we could get the same result. So I'm grateful for that as well. The youngsters perform credibly, and like I said, I mean, they were able to keep the clean sheet, and we are grateful for that as well.
All right, Coach, let's look forward to the World Cup qualifiers now. The 2 games today, I believe you might have a little bit of a headache as it comes to team selection.
Well, it's a good headache. I mean, when players step up like that, gives the coaching staff a good headache, and it's nice to see. You know, you can bring in new players and they can step up and play good football.
I want to go back a bit, Coach, onto some of the guys who are on the field this afternoon. Let's look for example for Dale Dangleben, who held his position at fullback. Any guys that you probably just want to single out for a good performance today?
Well, as always, Gavin, I don't single out players. The team did exceptionally well as a unit, and we are grateful for that, grateful for the clean sheet, and grateful for the draw.
All right, Coach, so as we look forward for the remaining games, what will be some of the things that you'll be working on for the next few weeks?
Well, finishing for sure, it's clear that we can keep clean sheets so we can defend properly. We can create chances, just about converting the chances. So going forward, we'll be doing a lot of finishing to ensure that the chances that we create, that we score them.
And that's the national football coach, Ellington Sabin. Cycling now. Gidson Marias made it 3 straight as he blew past the competition to win the Dominica Cycling Association's 4th road race of the season. The race took the riders from Marboy's Bar up to Santa Roma, down through Bath Estate, and then through Newtown to end up at Bellevue-Chopin. Well, Marias completed the series of climbs in quick time, 32 minutes, 34 seconds. He finished 7 minutes ahead of the closest rider.
Well, as you could see, it was a tough one for sure, but that's what I trained for. And my coach as well, you can see it right there. Her name is Coach May Itzen. Yeah, so yeah, it was a hard one, so I had to really push very hard.
Early on in the race, there was a bit of a time when you were with Levi Baron going up Santa Roma, then you pulled away. What basically was the game plan at that point in time?
Well, the plan was to attack by the bottom of the hill coming from my boy. Yeah, but when I saw them was start to kick out, so I did not really think of breakaway. But when I reached by the hospital the wrong about, I find Ronald was trying to break away from us. So I said, nah, I'm not gonna let that happen. So I hold his wheel. When I see like kind of he's off, so I just go. When I look back, I saw Levi was behind my wheel. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna ease off. So I just keep going.
All right. How difficult was it, especially being alone now, climbing the hills, going up to Bellevue with no support?
Well, I can say it was hard. For sure it was hard, and you know when you're riding alone, so you don't know what's coming behind you, so you just have to hold a good pace so you can go away from them.
Overall race winner and elite winner as well, Gidson Marias. We also had Stefan Carbon placing second in the elite division. Levi Baron, he won the Masters division. Chester Daddy Cheslater was second place. Ronald Charles was also in third. Ross Semper, he won the junior division in a time of 42 minutes and 24 seconds. And we also had to make special mention of Rachel Semper, the only female to attempt that big course yesterday. We'll end with some cricket news as the West Indies batsman Kavem Hodge got a century, guiding the KFC Summits to an innings win over Convenience Plus hitters as matches continued on the weekend in the Dominica Cricket Association's NCCU Premier Cricket League at the Botanic Gardens. Kavem Hodge hit 113 as the Summits declared on 290 for 7 batting first. Neo Davis, he also got his third half-century of the season, getting 53. Elton Mark, 44, and Stephen Pascal, 38. Kamal Hamilton, he picked up 4 for 70.